You see, my child, when people ask me what truly marks the strength of a woman, I do not point them to the loud ones or those who boast with empty words. No, I tell them the story of Ayo, the quiet one who said nothing for years until the day she stopped cooking and everything changed. Ayo lived just across the narrow footpath from my compound in a modest clay house with a thatched roof that sagged a little on one side, like a tired man leaning against a tree. She came to our village of Orita from her father's land in Ijero when she married Kola, the tall palm wine tapper who was known for his laughter, his stubbornness, and his appetite. That man could eat. Morning, noon, night. He wanted his food hot, plentiful, and on time. And Ayo, small as she was, always delivered. She was like the village clock, never late, never early. She made amala so smooth it could slide down your throat like water from Omi's stream. Her egusi had the kind of flavor that made grown men sigh and stare at their plates in gratitude. But Kola, that man was never satisfied. For the first 5 years, people said nothing. We thought, well, they are young, marriage needs time. Then the next 5 years passed and the whispering started. You know how village talk is, it floats through the air like smoke from a burning log. We heard things. That Kola beat her when the soup was too salty. That he called her names. That he spent nights drinking palm wine under the big Iroko tree while she waited for him, food cold, eyes heavy with sleep. I watched. We all did. Ayo, she would come to the stream each morning with her wrapper tied tight, her face calm, never complaining. Even when the bruises appeared, small ones, hidden under the folds of her wrapper, we knew, but no one said a word. Then came the morning everything changed. It was a Thursday. I remember because I had just returned from the market with kola nuts for the elders' meeting. The sky was clear and the sun was rising soft and golden. I was sitting under the mango tree outside my hut when I noticed the first sign. Smoke, or rather the absence of it. You see, in our village, every household starts cooking at dawn. The smoke from firewood stoves curls into the sky like offerings to the ancestors. But from Ayo's compound, nothing. No fire, no smoke, no pounding sound of yam, no grinding of pepper. Silence. I thought maybe she was ill, but a few moments later I saw her walk into the stream, calm, steady, a calabash on her head, not a sign of sickness in her step. Kola came out soon after, looking confused. I watched from my tree as he opened the cooking shed, peeked inside, scratched his head, and muttered to himself. Then he did something we had never seen in all the years they had been married. He entered the cooking shed himself. The whole village felt it, like when lightning flashes but no thunder follows. Something had shifted. By mid-morning, the whispers began. Ayo didn't cook today. Kola boiled water by himself. Is she sick? Angry? What happened? We waited for evening. That's when the real test would come. Around sunset, I walked to the square for the elders' meeting, but I took the longer path past Ayo's compound, pretending to check on the goats, and there she was, sitting under the orange tree, peeling cassava leisurely, humming, not a care in the world. Kola came home shortly after, looking tired and sweaty. He said something to her. I couldn't hear, but she just nodded and continued peeling. He entered the house alone. Minutes passed. Then he came back out, louder this time. Still she peeled. By the next day it became clear. Ayo had stopped cooking. Not once. Not even a pot of rice. Nothing. And it shook our village in a way that deaths or births couldn't. Women started visiting her in small groups, pretending to borrow pepper or salt. Ayo, are you fasting? No. Is Kola not providing? He is. So why haven't you cooked? She would smile and say, I'm resting. In Orita, where women woke from cockcrow till moonrise, who dares to rest? But she did. On the third day, Kola tried shouting. I heard it myself. Threats, curses, anger. But Ayo, she remained still. No fear in her eyes, just silence. On the fourth day, he came to me. Yes, me, Babatunde. He stood there, shuffling his feet like a child. Baba, he said. I don't know what's wrong with Ayo. I looked at him long and hard. Maybe she's tired, I said. She can rest after cooking. That's her duty. No, I said. Her duty is to live. She has cooked for 15 years. Have you asked her how she is? He blinked. She doesn't talk. She just stopped. I nodded. Then maybe it's time you started listening to the silence. That evening, Kola made his own dinner again. Burnt rice, no salt. We heard him curse and throw the pot, but Ayo, still silent, cleaned her hands and went to bed. By the 7th day, something changed in Kola. He stopped shouting. He washed his own clothes. He fetched water. He even went to the market. Ayo did not gloat. She still fetched water, cleaned the compound. but she never entered the cooking shed. After 10 days, Kola came to the village square with a small goat. He called the elders together. "I want to apologize," he said, "to my wife." We all stared. He turned to Ayo, who stood behind the other women. "I've taken you for granted. I didn't see how much you carried. I'm sorry." That was the first time I saw Ayo cry, quiet tears. She didn't say much, but she nodded. From that day forward, things changed. Not dramatically, but enough. Kola began helping in small ways. Ayo cooked again, but not always. Sometimes they cooked together. People in the village talked less about her silence and more about her strength. And now, years later, whenever I see a woman in Orita looking worn, overwhelmed, or unheard, I tell her the story of Ayo, the day she didn't cook, the day the village learned that silence is not weakness, that rest is not rebellion, that even the strongest pots crack if they never leave the fire. So my child, if you ever feel like the world takes you for granted, remember Ayo. You don't need to shout. Sometimes you only need to stop, and the world will start to listen.